Hey, welcome back. On a previous video, we had a look at this brand new 4th generation 2025 Nissan Murano. If you haven't watched that, I'll leave a link in the video description, so make sure, click that. Well, in that video, I described this as a middle child because, hey, it is smaller than the larger 3-year-old Pathfinder, yet larger than the popular Nissan Rogue. It has all new styles, as you can see here. It's wider, it has brand new technology, a lot of premium new features like massaging seats, new screens, new infotainment, new camera system, almost new everything, and a new power plant. But on that, we did say that it has less horsepower. So today, we're gonna take it for a drive and let you know, how does it compare to the previous model with more horsepower? Let's go. All right, we are in the new Murano now. Let's hit that start button. We're greeted by a little bit of a audio sensation. Hit that D for drive on the push button gear selector, and off we go. Ooh. This thing has a little bit of scoot. It's got really good torque. So we mentioned this is a different engine than the outgoing model. It has 2 less cylinders. So instead of the V6, now we have a 2-liter variable compression turbocharged engine, and that has 241 horsepower. That's 19 less than the V6. But you also get 260 pound-feet of torque, which is 20 more than the outgoing V6. And that's a pretty big difference, actually, for torque-wise for a vehicle this size. And that torque is really going to come in handy because this vehicle is a little bit bigger and it's a little heavier as well. And yeah, so it's welcome to get this vehicle up and going. And right off the bat, I can really feel it's quite responsive, even at speed right now. We're doing 93 kilometers an hour, about almost 50 some odd miles an hour. And we have a policeman. Ooh, please keep going. Yes. Anyways, yeah, so a little bit more torque. At low speed, though, I find that the shifts are a little bit on the harsh side. You know, you really do feel the shifts. I'm not sure if that could be kind of smoothed out in programming. Probably they can, but yeah, I just noticed, you know, just basically in parking lots and things, and as you just start going, if you're just trying to drive really, really gentle, it can be a little bit abrupt. Now let's go through some twisties and some corners on this new Murano. Now, this is now equipped with a new electric power steering system over the previous hydraulic system. That's going to actually save you a little bit in energy going electric. And steering wise, it's fairly responsive. It feels very wide, but that also aids in giving you a real confident feel. Now, going through these corners, there's not a lot of feedback on the steering, but it's a nice drive. This is now equipped with new frequency sensing dampers. Now these aren't electronic adjustable dampers. They're passive, but they definitely firm up the ride quite a bit. There's not a lot of body roll on here. Absolutely gorgeous through this Franklin area, man, oh man. I'd like to come back here and spend a little bit more time. You can hear that transmission changing the gears. Now, since it has 9 gears to go through, it is changing quite often. But this is definitely going to be welcome to the people that aren't fans of the CVT. Brake-wise, hard brake. Really great feeling. All right, so let's just do a little bit of a run here. We're in sport mode. Off we go. 2, 3. There's a run to 62 miles per hour, to give you an idea. There's a little bit of lag at just off the launch there. Remember, this is a turbocharged engine. It's a tiny bit. Looks like someone else has had a little bit of fun on this road as well. The advantage of this VC Turbo 4-cylinder over the V6, of course, we mentioned the torque, but you also get better fuel economy. So the older version actually got 10.4 liters per 100K in combined city and highway driving, where this 2025 model with the VC Turbo gets 9.7 liters per 100 kilometers. So for our friends in the US, that's 22 miles per gallon and 24 miles per gallon. So you get 2 miles per gallon better fuel economy. Yeah, and guess what? This runs on regular fuel, even though it's a turbocharged engine, and that's always a welcome. I find under normal acceleration at launch, like when we were just at the stop sign there, I didn't really notice that much lag. It was just when I actually put my foot right to the floor trying to do that 0 to 60 there's actually more lag, it seemed. I think the secret is just to not mash it, go half throttle, and then you can go mash it, and then it kind of builds up, I guess, the boost. But yeah, once you're at speed, it's not really noticeable at all. Okay, railroad tracks, always a good test. Okay, I'm going to turn around here. Let's try out the turning radius. It's very good. Very good, I must say. So also, in tighter areas, one thing that's so useful, we mentioned this in our first video, the new HD enhanced 3D intelligent around view monitor. Okay, I remembered it because that's a mouthful. Essentially, it's a 360 camera, but you also have these other features. You can change all sorts of different views on the camera, including an invisible hood. Very, very handy to have. Nissan came out with that around view monitor years ago, and then since then, I thought that they kind of got left behind. The resolution was never ever that great on those cameras. The new ones now much improved, and with all the different variations of angles, there's a lot of useful tools at your disposal there. When you're looking around, the sight lines are very good. Big windshield, of course. I like how they've mounted the mirror on the door and they added in this other little window in front of it, so that kind of eliminates more of a blind spot on your A-pillar. Back here we have good visibility from our rear view mirror, and it feels very light, especially with this lighter interior. They do have this in a blue interior, by the way, and that looks pretty good. If you like something a little bit darker, maybe you're scared of a lighter interior, have a look at that blue one. I'm a fan of blue, but I do like this white with this beige. Normally I'm not a big fan of beige, but it works. It works in here. It just really feels, like very spa-like. Doesn't feel like you're driving a compact vehicle, something like the Rogue. I really feel how wide we are. It feels like a very wide car. Even though this is new, this does not have the latest ProPilot Assist 2.1. This is the older version. So the 2.1 actually has the complete hands-off driving for mapped roads only. So they have to, it has to be on the highway and certain roads that are mapped. It is great if you find yourself driving a lot of times in traffic or real mundane freeway drives. That's a really good thing to use, but this one is not equipped with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this feature added on, maybe in a firmware or some sort of a update later on in the future. So who is the competitor to the Murano? Well, even when the Murano first came out, it was kind of on its own a little bit because it's in the middle. You see, this is larger than the best-selling Nissan Rogue, yet smaller than the 3-row Pathfinder. So it's right in the middle there. And the buyer is also different too. First of all, the buyer of a Murano wants something different. They want something more unique. and that's what the Murano has always offered. I think it really was kind of ahead of its time. I loved even the very first version. That was probably my very favorite version, was the original. It was kind of like a spaceship type of modern look for it. So yeah, they've done a good job evolving that into this new Murano, but also size-wise, even though it doesn't have 3 rows, it is large, because you may want something larger than a compact like a Rogue, because you might have stuff to carry. You don't need to carry a lot of people, but the second row of here does have a lot of room for passengers, and that's always nice as well. But yeah, I would say the competitors would be someone like the Chevy Blazer, Honda Passport, or even the new Toyota Crown Signia. But I said this before, they did such a great job, especially on the interior styling, the touch points, you know, how it looks, all the new technology in here, that it's kind of like an Infiniti, really. And I wouldn't be surprised if some people may actually, instead of buying an Infiniti, will buy one of these. So they might lose a few sales there. However, they might also gain some new buyers as well, which is always a good thing. What's it gonna cost to get into one of these? Well, we're talking Canadian dollars. If you go for the base SV, that's gonna run you around $47,000. For the mid-level SL, that's $50,500. And for the top platinum trim, we're going to run you about $55,000. And that's gonna get what you see here. Some of the additions that you get are the 21-inch wheels. You also get the hands-free power liftgate, a head-up display, the semi-aniline leather seats with the massage feature. And if you compare this to other vehicles kind of in the same size category, and even some in the luxury or the premium sector, this is actually offering a lot of value for the price. Even at the top trim at $55,000, it's actually not bad at all. And yeah, I don't know if this is going to take some sales away from Infiniti, because it's that good. It really doesn't feel like you're driving a Nissan, but it may also, I've mentioned this before, it may also bring new buyers into the brand, so that's always a good thing as well. So what do you think of this new Murano? Leave a comment below. That's it from Franklin, Tennessee. Ciao.